Finally, I thought we'd have left our muffler in this route about 5 kilometers back. Get out, historian. We've arrived.
Loma, why did you have to start smoking right now? It's already hard to breathe with all this dampness, and now you're smoked too.
Calming my nerves. Look at this dump. 3 hours of off-roading, no signal since last night, and the GPS is dead. If it weren't for your paper archives, we'd be rotting in these woods by now. Get the tablet out. Check the coordinates. Is this definitely Zmeyovka?
I look at these houses, blackened by time, and feel a sticky chill crawling down my spine. The windows gape with emptiness like knocked-out teeth. The roofs have caved in. It's not just that there are no people here. There is no life here at all. No birds singing, no insects chirping. Even the wind doesn't rustle the branches of the rotting apple trees. Absolutely dead silence. Yes, Loma, this is Zmeyovka. Over there, see the hill behind the houses? According to the old maps, there should be a wooden chapel. Or rather, what's left of it?
Perfect. So no one has touched our loot. The guys in the regional center said even mushroom pickers don't dare come here. They're afraid of something.
They aren't afraid of something, Rom. They're afraid of very specific things. I read you those excerpts from the provincial reports. The village wasn't dekulakized and it didn't die off from typhus. People just left. They abandoned everything. Livestock in the barns, icons in the sacred corners, tableware. They left with nothing but clothes on their backs just to get away from this place.
Oh, here we go! Your fairy tales again? Danya, you're 20 years old. You're a serious scholar, yet you believe in the bogeyman? Ha 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 ha! People left because the land here is rotten. There are no crops, and it's surrounded by swamps. That's your entire mystical secret.
It's easy for him to talk. Roma thinks in terms of concrete, steel, and money. To him, the world is simple and clear. But I spent months in the archives collecting information for this job. I saw the district police captain's reports. People complained about Morok, an entity that rises from beneath the earth, muddles the mind, turns brother against brother, and makes mothers forget their own children. Loma, I'm just asking you to be careful. The client didn't just cough up $3 million in advance for no reason. Nobody pays that kind of money just to dig up an old box in the woods. That man in the suit at that private meeting, his eyes were insane. He didn't even give his name.
Listen to me carefully, Danya. I don't give a damn about the client's eyes. I don't give a damn about his name. And I couldn't care less about local ghosts, spirits, and other folklore garbage. Do you have any idea what kind of debt I'm in? Do you know what the creditors will do to me if I don't pay them back by the end of the month for that wrecked truck?
I know. That's why I agreed to go with you.
Exactly. A $3 million advance. That's just the start. He promised another $7 million upon delivery of the box. $7 million! We just grab the shovels, go to the damn chapel, pull some wood out of the ground, throw it in the truck, and leave. Tomorrow night, I'll be drinking whiskey in a decent bar, completely debt-free, and you'll be able to open your historical exhibition just like you dreamed.
The exhibition? Yes. For that, I'm willing to endure the fear, the dampness, and the company of this stubborn tank. But why are my hands shaking so much? All right, you win. But if we see even the slightest thing suspicious, we turn around and leave. Agreed?
Wait, what about the monsters? If your Morok jumps out of the bushes, I'll hit him with a shovel. Come on, grab the metal detector and the tool backpack. Let's go. And stop looking around. There's been no one here for 100 years.
Loma slung the shovel over his shoulder and marched confidently down the overgrown street. I turned on the device, hung the metal detector's headphones around my neck, and hurried after him. But before turning away from the car, I caught a glimpse of movement in my peripheral vision. In the window of the nearest shack, through the dirty, cloudy glass, I thought I saw a pale spot for a second, resembling a human face. Probably just a reflection. Or a play of light? Yes, surely. Just old glass. I need to calm down. We went up the hill. Nothing remained of the chapel but a stone foundation and a couple of blackened log crowns. The cross was gone long ago, but what scares me most is the soil. It is completely black, as if scorched, in a perfect circle around the foundation. Absolutely nothing grows. No weeds, no moss, only dry, dead dust. That doesn't happen in a forest where moisture devours everything alive in a couple of seasons.
Well, what are you standing there for? Turn on your devil machine, the client said. The box should be right under the altar stone. Find where the altar used to be.
Loma, look under your feet. Don't you find it strange that even mushrooms don't grow here? The ground is as if poisoned. I've read about places like this in ethnographic reference books. They call them cursed bald spots. Peasants believe that in such places, the boundary between worlds becomes thin.
Tanya, I swear to God, I'm going to hit you with this shovel. I only see stones and dirt. Sweep the coil, historian. Time's ticking. It's starting to rain.
I sighed heavily, put on my headphones, and lowered the metal detector's coil to the ground. The silence in the headphones pressed against my ears. I began slowly moving the device over the black soil. A step, another step, nothing. Suddenly, the device emitted a short, harsh beep, then another. And suddenly, the headphones exploded with a continuous piercing shriek. Got it! A signal log. The signal is huge. This isn't a coin or a little cross. There's a piece of metal down there weighing at least 20 kilograms. The conductivity index is jumping like crazy.
Now we're talking. Step aside. Let me pry up the slab with the crowbar.
Loma shoved the heavy steel crowbar under a massive stone block of the foundation. I could hear him groaning from the exertion, his muscles straining. The stone gave way with a sickening, wet squelch, as if the earth didn't want to surrender its prey. A nauseating smell of rotten water immediately hit my nose.
Ooh, what a stench. Like we opened a tomb. Hand me the shovel. It's not deep, about 30 centimeters.
I'll help. Be careful not to damage the find. If it's wood, it might have rotted to dust. We dug in silence for about 10 minutes. Loma's shovel scraped against metal. I dropped to my knees, right into the foul mat, and began clearing the find with my hands. It wasn't a wooden box like the client had said. It was a forged iron chest, tightly wrapped in thick, rusty chains, and the ends of the chains were sealed with a huge lead seal.
Holy crap, what a save! The king talked about a small box, but this is a whole coffin. Heavy bastard. Come on, shine the flashlight on the lock. What kind of seal is that?
I directed the beam of the flashlight onto the lead seal. In that moment, my heart skipped a beat. Lead doesn't rust, so the pattern on it was perfectly preserved. But it was not an Orthodox cross, nor the coat of arms of the Russian Empire, nor the owner's initials. Loma, no. We're not touching this. Leave it there.
Why are you shouting? What's wrong? It's the right chest, right place.
Look at the seal. Loma, I beg you, look closely. These are old Slavic runes. This inverted tree symbol is called the rune of Chernobog. And around it are carved the rune of need and the rune of source, symbolizing ice and numbness.
And what do I care? I don't know anything about your runes. It's just a lock. I'll just snap the chain with the bolt cutters and be done with it. We won't be able to carry this heavy thing all the way to the car. We'll have to break it open and carry the loot in our backpacks.
You don't understand. In occultism, lead has always been used for shielding. This seal wasn't created to keep thieves out. It was created so that whatever is inside cannot get out. They locked Morok away. They sealed death itself here, Loma.
Lev, shut your mouth, Danya! Lab growing in debt. I've been eating cheap noodles for 3 months. Inside that piece of iron lies my 7 million rubles. My freedom! And I'm not going to leave them in this mud because of your childish horror stories about bogeymen and runes.
Loma threw the shovel aside and pulled out massive hydraulic bolt cutters from his backpack. His hands were shaking, and a fanatical, almost insane fire of greed burned in his eyes. I backed away. I wanted to run, but my feet felt as if they were rooted to the dead earth. Loma, I beg you, don't break the seal. No one is going to help us. The client knew. That bastard from the capital knew what was locked in here. He needed an idiot who would break the seal with his own hands.
I said back off! Out!
The bolt cutter blades bit into the lead seal. Loma leaned in with all his weight. The metal creaked. One more effort. The air alundus instantly turned icy. Thick white steam billowed from our mouths. The sky above the chapel seemed to sink directly onto our heads. But the most terrifying thing was the sound.
Dan, what the hell is this? Why did it get so cold?
Do you hear it from under the lid? No, the monster leapt out from the crack in the chest. Instead, a sound emerged, a quiet, multi-voiced whisper, as if hundreds of old women's and children's voices let out a sigh of relief in unison. And following the whisper, a thick, impenetrably gray fog, smelling of a damp grave, crept over the ground. The seal was broken. Morok was set free. We bolted down the hill so fast that the arrow nearly tripped over a root. The shovel, the metal detector, everything was left behind in the digi site. In my hands, I held only a gin flashlight, its beam hitting a milky wall of fog just 3 steps ahead. Loma ran in front of me, breathing heavily and swearing under his breath.
Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch! Dan, keep up!
The village, which had seemed dead an hour ago, was now breathing. Streamers whose icy vapor stretched from every broken crack, from every black window. The air grew thick, like jelly, and now smelled not of rot, but of something sweetish and sickening, incense mixed with blood. El heard a branch snap somewhere to the left, behind the leaning fence. Then another, and another. Rhythmic, heavy. If someone huge was walking on all fours, snapping dry tree trunks.
Do you hear that? Someone's out there.
Don't stop. It's Morok. It distorts sounds. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a massive silhouette to the right, between 2 shacks. It moved parallel to us, not coming closer, but not falling behind either. The fog obscured the details, but I made out tufts of dirty fur, an unnaturally twisted neck, and a face. A human face merged into the beast's shoulder. It was looking straight at me, blindly. From its empty sockets stretched threads of darkness, thin as spiderwebs.
Stay with us. We need your flesh.
Is that a bear? A rabid one? Dan, we don't even have a gun.
That's not a real beast. Just run. Don't look it in the eyes. We turned onto the main street. I recognized the leaning bell tower. About 200 meters remained to our car. But ahead, right in the middle of the road, someone was standing, tall, in a long tattered cassock. The priest. His figure swayed like a pendulum, and his arms were unnaturally stretched downward, his fingers touching the ground. Beneath the kamilavka, there was no face, only smooth bone on which bloody runes stood out. Loma, stop! Go around to the left, through the gardens.
The weeds are waist-high there. That thing will devour us.
Too late to report, too late to run. You have opened the gates.
He took a step toward us, and hands began crawling out of the ground beneath his feet, gray, with broken nails, covered in maddened worms. The dead, dozens of hands clawed at the air, trying to grab our pants. I jumped over one, but another caught Loma by the ankle. He fell face first into the mat, dropping his flashlight.
Ah! Get off me! Danya, help!
Kick their hands. Don't let them drag you down. I rushed to Loma and kicked the dead man's slimy wrist with all my might. There was a crack of dry bones, and the fingers released their grip. Loma jumped up limping. We bolted down an alley between some sheds, away from the figure in the cassock. From behind us came a sound like a laugh or a sob, and then it went quiet. Out of every door, out of every cellar they crawled. Peasants in torn coats, women in shrouds, children with unnaturally twisted heads. They weren't running, but they walked slowly and inexorably toward us, cutting off our path to the car. The fog became so thick that I could no longer see Loma's boots. We burst through some gate, leapt over a rotting porch, and crashed through the door of the first shack we found. Leaned my back against the oak door, breathing heavily. Ice gripped my chest. Loma was on his knees in the middle of the room, his entire body trembling. Behind the thin walls, footsteps could be heard. Many, heavy, slow. They surrounded the house, but they didn't try to get inside yet.
What was that done? That wasn't a hallucination. It grabbed my legs. I felt the cold.
It's Morok, Loma. It's not just whispering in our heads anymore. It's starting to manifest. The village is waking up. And we are at its center.
What about the car? We need to get to the car.
Not now. They've cut off the road. We need to wait it out, figure out how it acts. Maybe find something in this shack, some kind of protection. Loma was trying to convince himself, but I saw how his hands were shaking. It was dark inside the shack. Light barely struggled through the dirty, cobweb-covered windows. I wanted to tell Loma that we needed to search the place, but then, from the darkness corner behind the stove, came a sound. A dry, hacking cough.
Ha 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 ha! What noisy guests we have. Didn't even knock. Entering someone else's house without knocking. Ha 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 ha! It's a bad omen.
Loma and I froze. The hair on the back of my neck stood on end. Out of the darkness behind the stove, a figure slowly stepped forward.
Who the hell are you? Where did you come from? There's no one in this village.
Ooh, sweetie, where did I come from? Why, I never left. I am a local. Lived my whole life in Zmejavka, whole life. And then some.
My brain refused to process this. The village was abandoned more than a century ago. This old woman couldn't be living here. I peered closely at her in the gloom. Her face resembled a baked apple, entirely covered in deep wrinkles, but her eyes were completely black, like 2 drops of crude oil. Grandma, what is your name? Are you here alone?
Alone, my dear. Been alone for a long time. Ever since that master from the city brought that awful box and hid it in the chapel, all our folk died or ran away. But I stayed, watching over the house.
Wait, a box? What box? You mean the chest under the altar? Do you know what's inside? Tell me, old crony, is it gold? The client said there's treasure.
Gold. Oh, you city folk are so greedy. Always looking for a sparkle in the eyes. I know what's in there. Our village perished because of that gold. Want to hear a story, my dears, while the fog is wandering outside? It's hungry today, you see. Hasn't fed in 100 years.
I wanted to scream at Loma to get out. This old woman wasn't human. No warmth came from her, and no steam escaped her mouth when she breathed. Even though the shack was as cold as a crypt, but Loma seemed frozen in place. Greed overcame fear. He wanted to know about the treasure.
Tell us. Just make it quick. And no riddles.
There are no riddles, dear. A merchant came to us once, a long time ago, brought an iron-bound chest. Said there was gold inside, a secret treasury. He buried it under the church and left. But our men of Zmejavka found out. They went at night, killed the priest, dug up the chest, and broke the lead seal. Thought they would get rich.
And what was inside?
Nothing, young man. It was empty, only dust and ashes. But our men didn't believe it. Each of them started thinking their neighbor had hidden the gold. Pieter stabbed his own brother with a pitchfork, shouting that he was hiding coins in his boots. The blacksmith burned his wife in the stove, thinking she swallowed gold earnings. Everyone lost their minds. A fog swept over the village. Murok fell upon the people. You see, Murok doesn't tear with teeth. It feeds on your fears, on envy, on the rot in your souls.
What a load of garbage!
It crawls into your head. It shows you what you fear most, or what you desire most. You came here for money, didn't you, city dogs? For your millions.
Dan, she's out of her mind. She's sick. Let's get out of here.
But the old woman wasn't looking at me. She didn't take her pitch-black eyes off Loma.
And you, big guy, your pockets are empty. Your debts are squeezing your neck. Thugs are waiting back home, threatening to skin you alive. You'd sell your own mother for those paper bills, and you'd sell your four-eyed little friend too.
Shut up, you bitch!
Why share with him, eh? Why does he get half? He's weak. He dumped all the hard work on you. Kill him, take the chest for yourself. The client only needs the chest. Leave the historian in the swamp.
Loma, don't listen to her. It's an illusion. It's Morok itself speaking to us. It's trying to turn us against each other, just like those peasants. I looked at Loma and turned cold. He was standing there, breathing heavy, staring at me. There was no fear left in his eyes, only cold, calculating paranoia. Morok had already crept into his head.
She's actually right, Danya. Why do I need you? You do nothing but whine and get in my way, yet we're supposed to slip the money 50-50.
Loma, are you out of your mind? We've known each other since school. This creature is making you insane. Old woman, stop it. The old crone paid absolutely no attention to my words. Her black eyes bored into Loma, and her lips stretched into a veiny, greasy smile. She was clearly enjoying how easily she was tearing our friendship apart.
Why defend him, sweetie? He'll sell you out first. Look at how he glares. Coins are already sparkling in his eyes.
Morok was pressing down. A buzzing filled my head, as if someone was turning a radio between worlds. I knew that one more second and we would tear each other apart. I had to do something. Now. Shut up, you monster. Can't you understand human words? I snatched a dried-out wooden stool from under the table and smashed it against the floor with all my might. The wood shattered into splinters. The crash was deafening. The old woman flinched and backed away toward the stove. For a second, I thought it worked. She looked frightened.
Oh, so hot-tempered angry. But anger is a weakness too, my dear. It is a door we knock on.
She didn't disappear. On the contrary, her figure became denser, almost tangible. Instead of steam, a thick black smoke billowed from her mouth, reaching out toward me and enveloping my face. I inhaled the vile stuff, and my lungs burned with an icy fire. Loma was screaming something, but his voice grew more and more muffled. Morok entered me through my anger. I began to suffocate, clawing at my throat. Through the haze, I saw the old woman nod with satisfaction and dissolve along with the smoke, leaving me alone in the empty shack with a heart that had stopped beating.
You allowed rage to take over. Morok feeds on any intense emotions, especially aggression. Your mind became clouded, and you remained in Zmayovka forever wandering the streets, banging on the doors of non-existent houses.